Today I'm reviewing this 50 watt LED UV/RGB light. Go ahead, open this up, take a look at the light itself. And first thing we can see here is a remote control. Then we have the light itself, an instruction set or instruction sheet. And when I look at the light here, here's the receiver for the remote control. We're going to go ahead and plug this in and see how it looks. It is rated at 50 watts. There is a hard switch as well as this remote. I'm going to turn this off and plug this into my energy meter. So we'll be able to measure, see how much power this is actually using. If I turn on the main switch, it is pretty bright. It's going through a little bit of an RGB color dance. And the power draw is 39, 42 watts, kind of alternating a little bit because this is doing a little bit of a light show. I'm going to go ahead and just set this to red for now. And with red, it might be hard to see here. It is just one row of the LEDs. The one that had the red dot on it is actually red. If I do green, again, it's just one row of green LEDs. Blue, same way. The top row is blue. And then there's, for white, it looks like all three of the R, G, and B light up. So you have 3 rows. I'm going to go ahead and turn this down. And actually we can see the power draw on white is at 27 watts. Let's go ahead and turn that off. When I turn all of this off, I'm down to 0. Row of colors right here is listed for the UV. I'm going to go ahead and press one of these. Okay, it's powered off. We'll turn this on. I'm going to press one of these. And you can see it much better on the camera than in person because right now I do have an overhead light on. When I press this top one, I'm seeing the bottom 3 rows light up. Press this next one down. Ooh, that's turning on the red. So top one appears to just be the UV light. This would be UV in red. UV only, I'm at 30 watts. I turn on the red. I'm going up about 5 watts. The next one down is UV plus green. Again, about 35 watts. And finally on the bottom here, this is UV, and it looks like the blue. I'm going to go ahead and let this run for a little bit at a higher, I'm going to let it kind of sit here at the brightest white, which is probably, well, I'm going to try to let this thing run for a few minutes to see how hot it's going to get. And now the light has been running for about 45 minutes. Still seeing the same 35 watt draw. And I've got a infrared thermometer here. We're going to go ahead and aim it at the back to see what type of temperature we're at. It's reading 100, depending on where I'm at, there's some hot spots of 142, 144 degrees Fahrenheit. But the watt usage seems relatively low. It's got some pretty good adjustability here. I would prefer if these were actual RGB LEDs versus just a red, just strictly red, strictly green, strictly blue. I appreciate the flexibility of having RGB and UV blacklight. This light gets a bit too hot for my preference, and I am disappointed in that choice of a row of red, green, and blue versus using RGB LEDs, which would have provided more usable light power. Because of these shortcomings, I'm rating this light only 3 out of 5 stars.